She got served the divorce papers, and she didn't like that. So she went to the kitchen table with Advil, and you can probably guess the rest. Me and my dad saw the whole thing, and I was only 16, and it was kind of scarring, and I haven't told this one before, but here you go. Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm back with another video about my mom, because I was gonna do one about my partner's dad, but he found out about my TikTok and YouTube, so I don't think it's appropriate, but I will, like, later, you know, when things aren't weird and we don't live there, you know? And he literally said to my partner's face one time, I am the R word. The word where you're prejudiced against minorities. Yeah, he literally said that to my partner's face, with no shame at all. When we first met, he would only call me young lady, not even use my name. It was just young lady, just to jab at my identity. It's like, you don't have to agree with it, but at least use my name. You don't have to use my pronouns. Use my freaking name. Just say Jesse, but he wouldn't. He's since stopped doing that because I put him in his place, but I can't tell that story. So we're gonna talk about my mom instead, because I've never told this story. I don't know if any of you have ever had your mother try to in front of you. I don't know if my mom actually wanted to, or if she just wanted attention. She's a narcissist, so it's hard to understand. I feel like maybe part of her wanted attention, but part of her was really upset, and this is what she chose to do with her feelings. I think she was actually mimicking an earlier episode I had. When I was 16 or 17, during the summer, I took a bunch of my dad's, you know, for his heart condition, and I went to the children's hospital for that. And my parents actually tried to gaslight me. My dad was like, I don't think you took any of these because it doesn't look like any are missing. I only took like 10 of them because I didn't know how many you needed to get the job done. So I don't know, I'm an idiot. I didn't research it, okay? That's a story for another time, as I always say. I think my mom thought I did all that as a stunt. She was kind of half right. So that's why I think that my mom was doing what I was doing. But I'm like a teenager without a fully developed brain. So why she at 50 years old was pulling this? Well, I guess she was 45 then. I don't know why she at 45 was pulling this. Let's go ahead and get into the story though. This would have been 2015. I said earlier in the video that I was 16, but I actually think I was 17. It was 2015 and I turned 18 that November, so I had to be 17. This happened in the summer, and my dad had given my mom and their relationship one more try against my wishes, but whatever, he's an adult. He can make his own wrong choices. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Apples can't grow legs and walk away on their own. Somebody has to pick them up and aid them at some point, or they have to go where the wind blows them and figure it out themselves. And my mom didn't do that. She was still right by that tree, just souring. Where was her Johnny Appleseed? Someone needed to chop that tree down, because now we have generational trauma, but here we are. They kept planting seeds. You guys get what I'm saying? My mom was traumatized, and then she went on to traumatize my dad and us, and so my dad had enough, and he finally filed for divorce. And this is the day that she got served. And I wasn't even there at first. I got there right in the middle of it, so you can imagine the shock on my face. I was hanging out with my friend, and my mom didn't want me to go hang out with my friend, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. That was like a common thing in my house. If my mom was in a bad mood, you don't want to ask to go do anything, even if that was already planned and she said yes before, because she'll change her mind because she's mad and want to ruin your day too. And that was what was happening here. My mom didn't want me to go hang out with my friend Kendall, so I just, you know, do what you do as a kid and ask my dad, and he said, yeah, go ahead, screw her. She's being unreasonable. So I went and hung out with my friend Kendall, and we actually went to the fairgrounds, and we were just walking around there. The fair wasn't open. What do you do as a 17-year-old in a Midwest town? You can't drink, you can't smoke yet. Okay, the movie theater, all the good movies, you gotta be 17 or older, and my friend was 16 still. Steve! Steve! My cat Steve is over here. Here, we'll have a Steven break. Steve. He controls the weather. He's like Pudge the fish. I pissed him off one day, and then my dad died. I'm just kidding. Steve wasn't even born yet, but he really does control the weather. Anyways, I was out with Kendall walking the fairgrounds, and my mom kept texting me, and she was like, you need to come home right now, or I'm gonna take a hammer to your laptop. And I was like, no, you're not. And she's like, yes, I am. And I'm like, no, you're not. You literally just bought that not even 8 months ago. You're not gonna take a hammer to it. She took a hammer to it. And I already made a video about that, but I didn't go super into detail, only like 6 minutes long. I wanna actually make an update and retell this story better and plug the computer in so that I can access the files that are on it, because I think that would be cool, if you guys want that. Because my mom is nuts, and yeah, she really did take a hammer to it. I eventually got a picture of my computer with like keys missing and the hammer next to it. I'll look for that photo if I can. A lot of my photos were lost because this landlord changed the locks to my apartment before my lease was out and threw away a bunch of my stuff, so I kind of lost this computer that had a lot of pictures from 2014 to 2015, but whatever. I'm like, oh my god, I think she actually took a hammer to my computer. You know, I said that to Kendall, and Kendall was like, well, maybe she just used the hammer to pry off some of the keys to make it look like she did that. And I'm like, you know what, I was thinking that too. Then the next text I get, your mom literally just got served, and now she's sitting at the table threatening to take a bunch of Advil. I think you should come home. And I'm like, what? Because like, that's a whole level of insanity that I didn't know my mom could reach. I think that's how the rumor got around that she was an addict, is because I might have went to school and said, yeah, she took a bunch of pills, and then we had to call the police, and maybe they just made the jump, oh, she's an addict. But no, she was just trying to herself or cry for help. I don't know. She was trying to manipulate my dad into not divorcing by saying, I'm gonna myself. Sorry that I can't actually say the word, but this place will get mad at me, okay? So I'm like, oh my God, Kendall, I think I have to go home. We can't go and get food because my mom is literally threatening to herself. And my friend Kendall was like, oh my God, girl, okay. Which I'm calling myself girl because I was raised and socialized as a girl my whole life, okay? This is when I was a teen girl. I'm a trans man now. You fucking get it. My pronouns are he, him now. If you don't call me that, I don't care because I just don't have the capacity to give a shit. If you have a problem with me, text me. If you don't have my number, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. And Tom Holland said that, and I stand by that. And so if you have a problem with me, that's all I have to say. Let's move on. So this is back when I was a little girl. And she's like, oh girl, like, okay, let's go home, like Jesus. So she takes me home and I walk into this. I don't know if you guys have seen Shameless, but you know when Monica herself on Christmas Eve or something in the kitchen, and that's kind of what it was like. No blood, but like my mom was literally gagging on the stuff that it was the Advil, but she was just shoving them in dry, and then she eventually got a drink, but she was just sitting at my spot at the table in the corner, just doing that and crying and snorting and gagging on him, and we were yelling at her to stop, and she wouldn't, and she did that until the bottle was gone, and half of them were kind of on the floor, but then I don't know if she took half or if some were just in her cheeks. I really don't know, guys. I didn't want to get that close because I didn't know if she would get kind of aggressive if we did anything. She ended up getting in her car and taking her phone with her and going to work. Well, we had just witnessed her take at least half of those, and I don't know if Advil can actually... She left like that, and I'm like, Dad, we can't just let her go to work. We literally just saw that. We need to call the police and like report it. We need to call the non-emergency number and say they need to go check on her because we don't know what's going on in her body right now. We don't know what she's going to do at work, and even if she's not going to do anything, she needs to know this is going to be taken seriously and not to do this for attention, because we're going to follow the due process to make sure she's okay. I'm always going to take it serious. I'm never the one to be like, oh, if they really wanted it themselves, they wouldn't tell you about it. That's not true for everybody, okay? Sometimes people talk about it to see how you'd react, to see if you'd care. I used to be one of those people. Now I don't tell anybody, but some people do tell people. I just didn't want to take the chance. I wouldn't be able to figure myself if my mom like collapsed at work and I knew that she had done something to herself and we didn't do anything. So we did that, and I told her, Mom, there's gonna be people coming to check on you, and she's like, you better not do that, you'll embarrass me. Well, they went to the store, and I guess they went to the front or the service desk and they asked for her, and in front of customers and her coworkers, they confronted her, and she ended up texting us and saying that it was embarrassing that she could lose her job, but she already got laid off for like a month because of the domestic violence thing that happened later, which is what got us a no contact order, at least for my dad. I don't know why they didn't give me one. I already told that whole story. I felt bad. I didn't mean to embarrass her. I have to take it serious. I saw you do it, and I could get in trouble. We could go to jail if she actually, and we knew something and didn't do anything. So my memory is kind of fuzzy after that. I know she was mad at us. I can't remember what happened the rest of that night. I wish I could. That was traumatic, watching my mom do that at the kitchen table, swallow a bunch of and threaten that. And I don't know if she actually wanted to or if it was just manipulation. I think it was just so my father would rescind the divorce, but it didn't work. It actually made it worse for her. It made him want to do it more. So that's my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Steve literally jumped up and knocked my phone off. Anyway, that's what you get for having 5 cats. He's such a goober. Now he's back over at the window. I really appreciate you guys watching this one. Sorry, it was kind of like not what you guys wanted. I know that I promised the dad one, but we'll have to wait to do that one. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I just don't. I'll do another poll for what you guys want for the next one. I kind of want to do the story time about my ex-girlfriend's mom literally hitting me in the head. I'm also writing a memoir. I'm like a paragraph in. Don't know what it's going to be called yet, but it's just going to be about my life. It'll have details that I haven't told here. If you could hit that subscribe button, it would really help me out. Every bit of money I make here goes towards me having a house of my own, which I don't have, and I would love to. Literally, it's completely free to do, and I promise you won't get sick of me, or maybe you will. I don't know. Please don't. Or if you do, if you want, take the like button to the zoo and then pick it up and throw it into the tiger cage and run away before anyone catches you. It would really help me out. Otherwise, I will see you next week with another story time. Bye.